Alright, so back playing Pokemon Emerald Battle Factory level 100 singles, or I guess open level singles. And last time I beat Nolan for the fifth time for a personal best 105 straight wins. Uh, I am ready to get back at it. Hopefully keep the streak going. I It's been like a week or two since I last played. I've just been busy. Since then, I guess Battle Factory Buddy has been updated by Dave Glorbus, who is incredible for building this tool. So the UI is a little bit different, uh, but it should hopefully be like the same functionality that I've come to rely on. One thing I'm going to try doing this time around, just because I've generally ignored it, is using the switch logic thing, which apparently, after you KO the first Pokemon, gives you like a little bit of information that could help narrow things down like a tiny bit. So I will try to remember to do that, and we'll see if it actually makes any sort of difference. Uh, I've never used this before, and I've also never used this magic number thing, which apparently matters like very rarely. And honestly, when I clicked on the info about it, I was very confused reading it. So I'm just gonna kind of ignore the magic number thing. But yeah, it should be ready to go. Let's get into it. Going for win number 106. Now's the pivotal draft. I feel like I've gotten generally very lucky with the sets that have been offered to me. So I'm kind of just waiting for me to get like a terrible selection, and that pretty much just like ends my run. But listen, you at this point everything you get is 31 IVs, and everything your opponent has is 3 IVs. So that's a pretty big advantage from the start. Okay, so no type. High risk, high return. What do we got here? Raichu, that's bad. There's no good Raichu sets. Alright, that's Raichu 1, I believe. I will double check that. Yeah, that's very bad. Okay. Static, I assume, yeah. Okay, second one. Dotrio, that is somewhere between okay and good, depending on which set. That's Dodrio 4? Or maybe it's 3. Yeah, 4 is the one with Flail. This one is 3, which is like, alright, it's got Double Edge. It's a really powerful physical attacker, but it's like, this thing's just so fragile. Okay. Dodrio 3, that's alright. It's Early Bird, okay. Better than Runaway, I guess. Houndoom, that's, depending on the set, somewhere between, similar to Dodrio, I would say, like, between okay and good. This is Houndoom 3. Which, definitely not the best Houndoom. Like, I would probably prefer 2 or 4 to 3, but it's better than 1. I'd say this is like decent. What's the ability? Also Early Bird. It's not even a bird. Why is it Early Bird? Houndoom 3 with Early Bird. Okay. Need something good out of these last 3. Blastoise. I mean, depends on which one it is. Could be any, like Blastoise 4 is definitely the best one. That's what we gotta hope for here. No, it's Blastoise 1. God damn. I guess it's slightly better than Blastoise 2, I suppose. Alright. Marowak. Anything but 1 would be great. Okay, that's Marowak 4. That's very good. I will take that. Okay. That's at least something. I got a really strong physical attacker that at least has some physical bulk. But obviously it's super fragile to anything that has Surf or Ice Beam or a grass type move. Alright, last one. Registeel. Alright, depending on which one this is, there's a very wide variety of Registeel sets, and they range from like borderline useless to very good. Was this... And it doesn't really matter. Yeah, neither one of these abilities does anything for Marowak. Which one? That's a pretty good one. That's Registeel, what, 1? That is Registeel 1. I like that. Okay. Alright, let's see first of all what Battle Factory Buddy says. I'm gonna guess that it will want me to do like Registeel, Marowak, Houndoom. But let's see. It doesn't like Houndoom. Interesting. It does like Dodrio. So maybe it's going to say Registeel, Marowak, Dodrio. I could see the logic there. No, it wants me to take Blastoise? Why? And it likes that a lot better than this. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think Blastoise 1 is very good at all. I mean, I guess probably the basic argument is that Blastoise 1 is a good special attacker, and my other two don't have any special attacks at all. As opposed to Dodrio, now that if I take that, then all three are physical attackers. But Houndoom has Overheat. And Blastoise, like, I don't know, man. It really doesn't like me taking Houndoom. That's interesting. So yeah, like I am in a lot of trouble against like strong water types. Yeah, it doesn't like me against Suicune or Wailord 3. That definitely makes sense. Yeah. Let's look at the stats on Blastoise. I mean, they're alright. It's decently bulky. It's got a pretty good special attack stat. It's average as far as speed goes. Hydro Pump, obviously powerful, but it can miss. Bite, I think, is just a very situational sort of move that I'm not going to use vast majority of the time. Seismic Toss, also situational. If I need to land a hit, guaranteed, as opposed to using Hydro Pump. And you can use Rain Dance, but like there's not much, there's no like synergies there for the rest of my team. It doesn't have any recovery options. Only Registeel has recovery options. I guess, let's say I take Blastoise, like, what order would I put these in? Because, so my instinct is definitely Registeel somewhere in the back, because Registeel has a lot of matchup. But the whole point of having this Registeel is so that you can set up on your opponent by just maxing out your curses and amnesias. So, you know, say my opponent sends out a Sceptile, which can't really do anything against Registeel. Then I send out Registeel. It can't do anything to me with like a Leaf Blade. And then I max out my curses and amnesias, and now I Metal Claw and rest, and there's nothing, you can't touch me outside of like it coming up with like a crit, I guess. And he wouldn't need to worry about status conditions either because he has rest. So I think as like a good setup Pokemon, definitely Registeel in the back, but then that leaves me with either leading Blastoise or leading Marowak, and I don't love either of those two as a lead either. Like, in a lot of ways, I love Dodrio as a lead, because it's got good coverage, normal, flying, steel, Feint Attack you're never going to use, but whereas Blastoise, Hydro Pump, like what if my opponent sends out a water type and I send out Blastoise? It's like, what do you do? Seismic Toss? Do you just use Hydro Pump anyway? And it's like, I can't really switch into Marowak. I guess maybe in that scenario I switch into Registeel. Depend heavily on what water type it is. My opponent sends out an electric type, then I can swap into Marowak. My opponent sends out a grass type, I could swap into Registeel, most likely. Alright, I'll give it a shot with Blastoise. Blastoise first, Marowak second, Registeel third. Far from an ideal set. But there's at least, there's potential here. Let's do it. Okay, he sends out a Miltank. Okay. So first of all, my team is Blastoise. Marowak, oh, he's got these little sprites here now. That's cool. And Registeel. And my opponent sent out a Miltank. So let's calculate. Okay, most likely to be Miltank 1. But there's a lot of very diverse Miltank sets that do very different things. It's a good thing that it's hopefully it's not 4. 4 is definitely the scariest. And then I need to know my draft rejects, which were Raichu, Dodrio, Houndoom. Okay, and then I'm going to try to remember to look at the Pokeballs so that I can do this switch logic thing. But it is definitely not my muscle memory to do so, so I may forget in the moment. Okay. Let's look at the calculator for a moment here. We've got Blastoise 1, we've got Miltank, let's assume 1 for a second. Nope, not melodic. And this is 3 IVs. Hydro Pump does decent damage. If I rain dance, then Hydro Pumped, would that make it a one-shot? I don't think so. No. So... and it can't do a whole lot to me. I guess it can Milk Drink. It outspeeds me. No matter what. And it's definitely going to be way more likely to Milk Drink if it's low on HP the next turn. So that actually is an argument for maybe Rain Dancing first. But if it's Miltank 2, I don't want to get caught with a Focus Punch. It can't attract me. It could T-Wave me. But it's not likely to because I'm faster. Or because it's faster. Miltank 3, it's probably just going to use Earthquake. Miltank, like, how does Focus Punch work? The target is asleep. Alright, if it is not the... Alright, so it seems pretty unlikely to use Focus Punch here. And then if it's 4... it'll probably use, like, Double Team, I believe. How does Curse work? Yeah, it's a lot of annoying probability here, but I think Double Team is, like... yeah, there's a pretty decent chance it Double Teams first turn. And it's maxed out Special Defense on 4. Oh, interesting. Oh, because it doesn't have HP, IVs, or EVs. Okay. I don't think this is a switch scenario, just because I'm concerned about getting caught by a Focus Punch. If this is not... what about, like, Shadow Ball is just... yeah, it's not going to use Attract. It shouldn't want to use T-Wave. No, there is still a chance it could. Yeah, so, like, I think on Miltank 2, it's basically a random roll between Focus Punch, Shadow Ball, and T-Wave. And I would prefer to not get caught by a Focus Punch. Especially on Registeel 1. Not ideal. I think I'm just going to use Hydro Pump, and I'm going to see... well, try to gain more information, because I think there's just too many things to try to game out here. So, let's try that. Go to... okay. Facade. Alright, so this is 1. Hit the Hydro Pump. Cover a little with the Shell Bell. Alright, 1 is definitely... it's probably the least scary. So I could just go for the kill here. Although it might Milk Drink, so that might... right, how does... if it drinks... if the user will move before... but it will move before me, so does that mean that there's no chance that it will use Milk Drink? seems like very weird logic, but okay. Is there an argument for swapping? I think there is, because there's really not much this thing can do to Registeel. I think this is a pretty good setup opportunity. Yeah, like it, and it can counter, but if I max out my attack... Oh no, I actually still don't kill it. Dang. So it could counter me. Well, how does counter work? Yeah, I could get countered. Like, my option there would then be to PP stall. But I don't know if I want to do that either. What if I switched into Marowak? Like, I could Swords Dance. And then I have, like, a powered up Marowak. But it would have the chance to hit me with 3 different moves, which could do some legit damage. Like, because I swap into Marowak, it hits me with a Facade, that does 20%. I Swords Dance, it hits me with a Facade, that does 20%. I Earthquake, it goes first. So now I'm down to like 40% HP, and now I've got a +2 attack Marowak, but is that really worth it? I don't know. I almost think the best move is to just kill it with Blastoise. Just hopefully hit the Hydro Pump, and I mean, unless it Milk Drinks, in which case maybe it makes sense to actually Rain Dance here. Or no, but I guess, right, we looked at the logic, and for some weird reason it seems to say that it will never use Rain Dance in this scenario, which is really weird, but or never use Milk Drink. So yeah, I guess I don't need to use Rain Dance. It should never use, if this is correct, if I'm reading it correctly, it should never use Milk Drink because it's going first. And so it's going to use probably Facade again. And I can just use Hydro Pump. Alright. Putting my trust in this documentation, I guess. Alright, there it goes, Facade. We hit the Hydro Pump. Cool. Cover a little with Shell Belt. Okay, let's remember to look at the Pokeballs. Okay, it's the first one grayed out. So I had Blastoise. Second. How does this work? Whenever you KO an opposing mon, the opposing... Oh, it's okay. It's only after the second one. There is useful information at this point. Okay, all right. I'll try to remember after the second one. Okay, so he sent out an Espeon. basically equal probability of all four. That's unfortunate. There, I would say probably 4 is the scariest. None of them can really do much to Registeel, I don't think. I think that might be the move, is swapping into Registeel. Let's look at Blastoise 1 versus Espeon 4 first. Well, I do a lot more damage to this thing than I thought I would. Not a one-shot, though. It's probably just going to use Psychic. There's, I guess, maybe a chance it would use Calm Mind. Yeah, actually, it seems like there's a very good chance it would use Calm Mind. Okay, that's good to know. If I swap into Registeel... Yeah, that doesn't do a whole lot. Even when it Calm Minds once. Not a whole lot. Then, I mean, I guess I am dodging crits if that happens. Like, if it crits Registeel, like, let's say my defense is fully boosted, and his special attack is at, like, +3 or something. And then he crits me with Psychic. Yeah, I'm still not dead. But I need to make sure I, like, stay at, like, relatively high HP in order to survive the crit. And if he's at +6, then yeah, he does one-shot me. So I think maybe the move here is to set up on Espeon, but, like, not fully. Like, max out with Amnesia, and then use, like, 2 curses, and then just take it out from there. Like if I curse twice, 68% chance. Maybe I need to curse 3 times, and I need to dodge a crit. But I guess then the question is, like, if I don't dodge it, if he crits me, am I just done? The answer might be yes. Right, like if he was at if he was at fully boosted this, and then he crits me, and then I have to send in, like, Blastoise, there's nothing he can do, and I'm just dead to Psychic, and Marowak's dead to Psychic. So that's like a disaster scenario. But I don't think I can just send Marowak out to begin with. Like, I can't swap into Marowak right now because he can just one-shot me with a Psychic, which is probably what he's going to use here. So yeah, I definitely can't just swap into Marowak. In fact, I really can't use Marowak against this thing at all. He's just going to get one shot. So yeah, really my 2 options here are stay in and use Hydro Pump. He could use Attract. How does Attract work? Okay. This does do more damage than I thought it would, but it doesn't one-shot. And this thing... Oh yeah, I didn't even pay attention to how much damage Espeon does to me, which is that it probably one-shots me. I'm at 291 HP. 80%. Yeah, it's definitely gonna one-shot me, or almost definitely. Oh wait, is this on a crit? That's why. Huh. But it's very likely to two-hit KO me. Marowak. Yeah, I can't do that. I think I'm going to try to switch in and set up with Registeel. Yes, I could get crit. And I'm just going to try to play around it. Calm Mind. Okay. Alright, what's Amnesia wants? Calm Mind again. Okay. What's Amnesia again? There's Psychic. No crit. Alright, they all know Psychic, so that doesn't tell me anything. I'm at 317 HP. So a crit Psychic right now would not kill me. Should I Amnesia again? How much benefit is that really giving me? Not a whole lot. Let's start cursing. Alright, there's another Calm Mind. If he crits me now, am I dead? No. And I wouldn't be dead to Psychic next turn either. I think I would like to not play around with with Fate too much, not tempt Fate too much. if he uses Psychic right now and crits me, then he would have to get back-to-back crits to take me out. And I can 2-hit KO him. So I think I'm just gonna Metal Claw twice. Okay, cool, no crit. We hit the Metal Claw. Now at 281. Crit should not kill me. Oh, it does? There's a decent chance it does. Alright, that's not good. Did I miscalculate something? Alright. Baton Pass to a Ninetales. Okay. Well, things just got a lot more complicated. Certainly an entertaining fight. Alright, so this is guaranteed Espeon 1. But I guess let's ignore that for a second. We've now got a Ninetales, which could be any of these three, but I guess let's assume 4 for a second, because that's probably the scariest. Which is at +3 special attack, +3 special defense. Really? That does not... How much? I'm at 281. It doesn't KO Registeel? Okay. That's kind of wild. I guess I am buffed. I do have buffed special defense. What about Ninetales? There's also Ninetales 3. Which that really doesn't do a whole lot. And Ninetales 1. Okay. Do they have different defensive stats? No, they're all the same. If I were to switch back into Blastoise, what would that look like? Remember, +4 and then 1 curse. Yeah, I would not be able to one-shot with Hydro Pump. It doesn't look like. I almost feel like I have to stay in. And hit him with another Metal Claw. Like, I think probably... Like, I live in Overheat, barring a crit. Does it make any sense at all to use Amnesia? Probably not. The next one, not. Or could it even make sense to rest to gain more information? Yeah, he's going to go first, and he's going to use a Fire-type move. And if it's Overheat, then he uses up his White Herb. But if it's like Ninetales 1... If it's Ninetales... But that's like, then I'm in a worse position than when I started if he just hits me with a flamethrower. Right, he hits me with a flamethrower, I rest. Well, no, I am still in a better position, but, like, not by a ton. And I am still risking a crit. And there's also the chance that it just uses Confuse Ray first, right? Because it's not going to see a kill with any move. Is my HP over 70%? It is, right? So there's no scoring change. So yeah, there is also a chance it just Confuse Rays, which would also kind of be bad. Because, yeah, it's not going to see a kill. I sort of feel like my move is to try to guarantee that Blastoise can take this thing out with a Hydro Pump, or even with maybe a Seismic Toss. So, like, if Registeel gets knocked out, so I sort of feel like my move is to just use Metal Claw to at least put myself in that more advantageous position. But then I am kind of surrendering to this, like, this Registeel to this Ninetales. Because he can almost definitely 2-hit KO me with whatever it has. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to Metal Claw to guarantee that Blastoise can take this thing out with a single Hydro Pump. Because, I mean, was there an argument for if I sent Blastoise in to like Rain Dance and then Hydro Pump? Like if it had... Maybe it would. Yeah, maybe that would be the move. It would be to Rain Dance. So maybe that's an argument in favor of trying to ride this out with Blastoise, because you have to remember that there's a... I was trying to ride this out with Registeel, that there's a Espeon in the back. It doesn't have its buffs anymore, but it can just 1v1, like one hit KO my Marowak no matter what. So that would mean that if Registeel's down and Blastoise is in and Marowak's healthy in the back, say I take out Ninetales, then Blastoise, which presumably has been hit by one or two of Ninetales' attacks, has to then 1v1 Espeon, which it might not be able to do. Like, what is that? It's Espeon what? We determined that it was Espeon 1. So it's kind of tough to know. And actually, Blastoise is not at full HP either. Yeah, no, it's not. I think I'm gonna try to stay in. I think I'm gonna rest and try to learn more from the rest. Put myself in a slightly better HP position. And then I can game plan better from there. I guess I hope it doesn't use Confuse Ray, because if it does, then the rest is like not that valuable. But if it does, I mean, if it uses Confuse Ray, then there's so many things that could happen, depending on whether I hit myself in confusion or not. Screw it, let's rest. Fire Blast, alright. I should live. Cool. Alright, Jesus. This is Fire Blast. So this is Ninetales 3, guaranteed. It's got +3/+3. I've got Registeel with -1, +4, +1/+1. Okay. It cannot, again, barring a crit, 2-hit KO me. Is there any chance it tries to Confuse Ray me? Yeah, there's a decent chance. Okay. It has, let's estimate, 70% HP. So for me, it's a 3-hit KO. Is there any argument to Amnesia? Not really. I should also remember Fire Blast has, like, I could try to PP stall Fire Blast. Whoops. Hold on, sorry. Fire Blasts. It's used 1. Okay. So it only has 4 more Fire Blasts, and it's a 3-hit KO on Registeel. So I think that's probably my play. I am risking a crit still. But I could try to PP stall Fire Blast. And I am also risking, like, it just using Confuse Ray and me hitting myself a couple of times. But basically, if it misses a Fire Blast and I successfully get a rest off, then I just win. And if I use Amnesia, nah, then I'm still dead to 3 Fire Blasts, still 3 KO. Right, he uses Fire Blast, I use Rest. And then as long as he doesn't crit one of the following 2 Fire Blasts, or I guess following 3 Fire Blasts. Because if I try to just play it straight up and use Metal Claw, like, he's gonna beat me as long as he hits 3 Fire Blasts. Right, and the odds of him, it's 85%, so the odds of him hitting all 3, 61%. Whereas if I play the rest game, then what I'm hoping for is that none of his 4 Fire Blasts crit. And so that's 1 in 16, or it's actually 0.85 divided by 16, because one of the Fire Blasts could miss to the 4th power, and then we're going to do 1 minus that. Wait, is that right? One over 16. Or no, sorry, it should be 1. It should be 1 minus, yeah, that. That's 80%. That he does not crit one of these Fire Blasts. But if I Metal Claw first, then I can also guarantee a kill on Ninetales with Blastoise's Hydro Pump on the following turn. So I think that's my move. I think it's Metal Claw, then Rest. And then hope he just doesn't crit one of his Fire Blasts. I guess there's always the wild card of Confuse Ray. which arguably makes it a better idea to just try to Metal Claw straight up. Let's stick with that plan. Metal Claw. Metal Claw. Rest. He could also burn me. That is also a possibility. And then maybe not. Second Fire Blast would kill me. Yeah, then a burn would do it, right? One at 12%. It would most likely do it. So maybe I need to just rest first turn. Because if he goes Fire Blast, burn, Fire Blast, that kills me. What's the odds of a Fire Blast burn? 10%. Or wait, is it gonna be different between... okay, it's 10% after Gen 1. I'm gonna rest. But what if he uses Confuse Ray? Then the rest is useless. Confuse Ray. No scoring change and terminate. Fire Blast is also going to be no scoring change and terminate. So it's basically 50-50 whether he uses Confuse Ray or Fire Blast. And then if he confuses me, there's a 50% chance that I act and a 50% chance that I hit myself in confusion. Oh, man. I gotta just take action one way or the other. I'm gonna rest. I think the PP stall route, like even if he does confuse me, or if he uses Confuse Ray, like ultimately, like I should just be spamming rest. But then if I hit myself, then I can't use rest the next turn because then I would be putting myself to sleep. No, then I would still want to. Alright, I'm just gonna rest. Alright, it uses Confuse Ray. It's unfortunate. Hopefully I don't hit myself. Okay, cool. Alright, now I'm confused. So it's not going to use Confuse Ray. It's pretty much guaranteed to Fire Blast. Let's rest again. Cool. Alright, cool again. So that's 2 Fire Blasts. Missed one, that's great. I'm going to keep spamming rest. Alright, it hits one, no crit, no crit. Cool. That must have been a high roll. Oh, man. Alright, so first of all, it's now used 3. at 170 HP because I hit myself, and now this is a 37% chance to KO. Ugh. God damn it. If I switch into Blastoise, only a crit kills me. See, what I'm trying to do is try to preserve Registeel, because Ninetales only has 2 more Fire Blasts. So at very worst, he could just KO 2 of my Pokemon. And if he was going to KO 2 of them, I would vastly prefer it to be Blastoise and Marowak, because then I can just send in Registeel again. It's out of Fire Blasts. It can't really do anything outside of getting insanely lucky with Confuse Ray. And then I can just set up and win. So I think that's the move, is to continue PP stalling but keep Registeel alive at all costs. So I'm going to swap into Blastoise and go from there. Alright, there's the Fire Blast. I should live. Cool. So now he's used 4. He has 1 more. And he'll see a kill and use it again here. But if he does not, then I guess I'll just use Hydro Pump if he happens to miss. Okay. Alright, so there goes Blastoise, but he's now out of Fire Blasts. So now I send Registeel in. I'm going to rest. That's going to do nothing. And now I should be able to just win. I'll max out Amnesia and Curse. Right, what's its 4th? Yeah, can't attract. Confuse Ray can only do so much. There's a crit, okay. Okay, I'm reasonably confident it's out of Confuse Rays now, so I will go ahead and take it out with this Metal Claw. Oh, wow, that didn't kill. That's wild. Okay. Jesus. I guess it has a Bright Powder, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah. Alright, there's Espeon. Whew. That was a ridiculous battle. That took me so freaking long. But we got through it. There's win number 106. I'm going to call it there. See you next time.